You brought up DNA. Have you seen the thing in the news that the company 23andMe, which collects DNA, or you send in samples and they tell you about your genetic traits or illnesses that you could potentially have that are in the
See, I
family
thought 23andMe was a dating site.
for a chance to date 23-year-olds?
Well, it sounds like it, doesn't it? Barely legal or 23andMe, that kind of thing. That's what I thought that was.
I think 23 is plenty legal. It's not barely
well,
legal.
but it's still close enough that you could pretend.
But what do you think of the news that this company is going bankrupt or gone bankrupt? And now the attorney generals and I believe, or attorneys general, I guess I should say, in New York and California so far have both said, delete your data. Delete it now. Because all your genetic data is part of the sale unless you delete it.
So, but wait a minute. Hold on now. Brian, you got a lot of splaining to do here. I hope you're not going to do any Dave splaining to me. But what market would there be? What is the data? There's so many questions. They look up your DNA. They can basically tell if you committed any crime, but if you committed a major crime in the past and then willingly submitted your DNA sample to somebody, then fuck you. You deserve to go to jail because you're an idiot. But past... Well, am I right or wrong?
Okay, well, we'll keep going.
Oh, and, I committed murder 27 years ago and got scot-free away with it. But boy, I want to see whether I'm the fucking second cousin of Alec Baldwin. So the point is, what other market would there be for anybody's DNA? How could it be harmful except to catch you in a crime if you had a sample of somebody's DNA? What can go wrong here, Brian, according to the experts, is what I'm saying to you.
Well, I have an article here from the Wall Street Journal in the technology section. 23andMe is bankrupt. Here's what you need to know about your genetic data. That's a hell of a headline there to scare you. Now, I've never done this kind of thing. Would you ever consider it, the idea of sending in your DNA to some outside company far away who are going to send you back information and put you in a national database, or at least their own internal database?
Well, there was that one time that I sent a box of my own shit to, this guy. No, I wouldn't even know how to. No, I don't want to do this and don't know how to do this. And am not. It doesn't sound like that potentially was anything I've missed out on here.
23andMe filed for bankruptcy, proposing to try and sell all of its assets. For consumers who have provided genetic data to the company for testing purposes, here's what to know. What happened to 23andMe? The DNA testing company was a hit with consumers who bought its DNA testing kits, but it never managed to turn that success into a viable business model. Efforts to use DNA to develop pharmaceutical drugs ran into costly delays, and an attempt to move to subscription-based services failed to draw enough interest. The hell kind of subscription-based services would they have for?
I don't. Do you get the DNA of the month club?
Here's another person you may be related to.
Hey, I know some girls back in Louisiana. They had a DNA of the nightclub.
What has the company said about its plans? In an open letter to its customers, 23andMe said there will be no changes to how it stores, manages, and protects customer data. Here's a quote. Any buyer of 23andMe will be required to comply with applicable law with respect to the treatment of customer data, the company said. For the time being, 23andMe plans to continue operations, and consumers can continue to order test kits, which the company will process. In court documents, 23andMe said it plans to try and sell all of its assets. It already received early interest from certain potential buyers, including former chief executive and co-founder Ann Wojcicki, or something like that.
Wojcicki?
Wojcicki.
MISISSIPPI. All right, but
the company says those offers are not actionable.
Well, but here is the question that I again pose to you. Besides being able to finger you for a potential felony that has been committed in the past, and or find out who you're related to somehow, then otherwise, what good can somebody take your genetic data and mix one of you up, clone you, and just make one of you? Or what is the? It's not like it's your bank account information.
Well, here's the section: what can happen to my genetic data in a bankruptcy sale? It can be sold to the highest bidder.
Honey, I'm sorry. The guy down the street bid more for my sperm, so I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to spare any for you.
It can be sold to the highest bidder, according to legal experts. The genetic data it accumulated for more than 15 million customers is considered one of 23andMe's core business assets. I don't know what else they would have as an asset. They've already begun using customer data to develop drugs with the pharmaceutical company GSK.
Wait a minute. Now, hold on here, cowboy. This went from a genealogy website to we're developing drugs off of your chemical makeup?
Apparently so, and a new buyer could seek to make use of it for similar development possibilities. 23andMe has said it found more than 50 drug candidates. So far, 2 have made it to the early stage human trials. Later this year, data could be released that will show whether one of them works.
Oh, when you said they found 52 have made it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they killed 48 of them? But okay, so now they're using people's DNA that they get on a widespread basis to do the genealogy thing to try to find out more about how that human beings in general or react to these various drugs. I assume not administering them to the actual people and without their permission. They know what's going on, but they're just accumulating the information from a lot of people. So now we're getting into some kind of business.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only business seems to be to sell the data. And apparently everyone opts into that when you sign up for whatever you do with them. You could opt out of it by just deleting all your data. But that's crazy. That's scary. Thank God I never did this shit.
Well, again, I'm not sure how they're really going to get you unless they can clone you off of this stuff. And then some night you come in and there you are sitting on the fucking couch playing with the kids. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're me. And they are not anymore. You're you and I'm me and now I'm you. So fuck you. See the way that works? Now's where we need the organ music. Not the fucking happy organ music, the dun 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 dun.
All right, this is going so well so far, but that was business news. Jim, let's move on to politics.